4 suspects have been arrested following a robbery and shooting of a teacher at Buhlebethu Primary School in Inanda, north of Durban. The incident happened during school hours after 7 armed men entered the school premises pretending to be parents. Teaching and learning were suspended, and the teacher remains in intensive care unit at a Durban hospital.
Just after midday, these suspects entered the premises of Buhlebethu Primary. In this CCTV footage, they can be seen stealing school equipment. It's believed that they then robbed teachers of their cell phones. The principal managed to press the panic button. A male teacher rushed to assist, but one of the suspects shot him as he was about to enter the principal's office. All the suspects then fled on foot.
We're so traumatized because even the children at the school are not safe anymore.
The incident has once again brought the issue of safety in schools into sharp focus.
This school is fenced, it has a security guard, it has intercom, it has cameras. Almost everything that a reasonable person can think is sufficient to be in a school, but they were able to breach all those security measures. So without the involvement of the communities, we're not going to win this battle.
Teacher unions are enraged.
It's not only teachers that are at risk, but also the learners are at risk. So that is why we also encourage the police patrol or a visible policing.
Some of the 7 suspects have been apprehended. They were found in possession of stolen cell phones.
Well, for more on this story, we now speak to Allen Thompson, who is the president of the National Teachers Union. Good evening and welcome to The Full View. Just looking at the CCTV footage there, what was going through your mind as a teacher yourself?
Well, that schools, in fact, are being targeted by the criminals. They want to come to schools and rob the teachers and do everything in their power just to make teachers vulnerable. And our worry is that something major needs to be done in terms of trying to improve the securities in schools. Yes, we know in that particular school everything has been done just to try to upgrade the security, but we have been saying we need also to add the metal detectors so that at least anyone that comes to the school environment, we are able to detect whether that person is armed or not. Once that has been done, we believe that this is also going to contribute. But we are very happy because we've got so many suspects that have been apprehended right now, and through these CCTV cameras, we're able to identify those people. So it shows that putting some devices to improve the security, it is definitely going to reduce the rate of crime. But we want the police to go all out and make sure that they arrest these criminals before they can go to another school, because it's not all of them that have been arrested. We still need to find the other 3 that are still at large and arrest those people to guarantee the safety of teachers and learners in the school environment.
From the information that you have gathered so far, do you know whether any of these thugs really were students at the school? Well,
the information the police are getting is that some of the people have been seen around the area, so there are chances that people are coming from the very same environment. But we want to give the police an opportunity to do a thorough investigation without confining them. But it is very important also to get the support of the members of public. That is why, as the National Teachers Union, because this is our member that was shot at in that environment, we will be sitting as the Central Executive Board tomorrow just to take a decision whether we can put a reward or something just to encourage members of public to assist whoever that has information on this matter, because it is seriously worrying us that people can come to school with an intention of harming teachers and rob them at the daylight. So that is why we are so worried about that.
Times have changed, the way society operates has also changed as well, and it seems that every time you come in contact with someone, you have to almost second guess their bona fides and what exactly their intentions are. And looking at what the MEC Kwazi spoke about earlier on, and you mentioned it as well, that all security systems were put in place. Then where are the lapses?
Well, I think it's the rate of crime. It's something that needs to be prioritized, especially when now we are being attacked, where we are sort of investing. Because in our schools, that is where we invest for the future. That is where we have to produce people who will be able to participate in the economy of the country. So our call as the National Teachers Union is that we need now to have more police visit or patrols, especially from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning, because that is where most of the teachers are vulnerable.
Where would they be patrolling?
They will be patrolling in the areas next to the schools, because schools are situated in specific areas. There is no school that is alone somewhere away from the community. So we want the police patrols to be done next to the schools between 6 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock, and also 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 3 o'clock, because those are the periods that are being utilized by criminals, because that is when parents visit the schools, that is where they go and leave their children or come to school to fetch their children. So if we can have more police visibility, but on top of that, let's arrest the criminals.
Yes.
People are escaping, people are shooting, and no one is being arrested. And that is encouraging criminals to say, in this country, we are still finding it difficult to arrest people who will come to the institution and just gun down a teacher.
Yeah.
And they know that there are no consequences. So we need to go all out and hunt these criminals.
But isn't there something to be said, though, about the security right at the gate? And we know that these men arrived at the school pretending to be parents, but shouldn't there be more security? And I don't know how you do a background check, but if you look, for instance, what happens at national key points, you have to provide an ID book to certify exactly who you are before you're allowed to enter that space. Shouldn't we start having the same access control even at schools?
Yes, well, we support that. In fact, if you can also check, all the government institutions, whether you are going to the hospital, you will find that there are metal detectors, there are security guards who are going to search you. When you go to Home Affairs, when you go to any government institution, except the schools, that is where we don't find the security guards, more than one. In fact, we even suggested to the Minister of Basic Education that for every 200 personnel, you need to employ one security guard. Not because we want perhaps to put weapons in schools, maybe to threaten the learners or to make the environment to be so hectic in terms of security, but because we want to get the kind of service we are also receiving in other government facilities. We believe that we must have more police, more security guards in schools compared to other institutions.
Would they be armed?
Well, it's one of the things that we'll have to consider, especially...
Because I'm now thinking about how untenable the schooling environment can become, especially when there is maybe a fight even between learners or even a fight between a learner and a teacher.
Yes, well, it's one of the... We once discussed that in our conference as a National Teachers Union, the possibility of the training of the security guard, but we never said they must be armed, but we said instead they must be linked. The school security must be linked to the nearest police station. But the key weight must be the metal detectors. If you have a metal detector, it's easy to say this person is armed, irrespective of whether it's a parent of a child, whether it's another teacher, it's a circuit inspector. We need to know what is that person coming into with in the school, so that we can be able to say, no, we are armed, we are not allowed to go to the school, because a school is a gun-free zone. So now that is why then we need to come up with those instruments. As long as the school is well fenced, as long as we have somebody who's patrolling within the school in the form of a security guard, and we have another one at the gate, then we believe that we'll be able to control the access. Then we'll have a problem when our children or teachers are leaving the premises. Perhaps they can then be vulnerable. But when you are inside the school premises, it's a responsibility of government to make sure that you are as safe as possible, because that is where our future is.
What was the attitude from government when you guys first made the suggestion?
Well, the first attitude was that they do not have money. As much as everything that we have been suggesting was quite reasonable, but they said they do not have budget to put security guards for every 200 persons in the school. They do not have money.
Do you have a figure? Did you guys come up with a figure, perhaps?
Well, no, we did not come up with a figure. What we have to do is to do the audit to say how many schools are without the security guards. Because the report that we have received, let me just take in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, the schools that are without the security guard, there are over 4,000 schools that are without the security guard, which means it's only at least half of the schools that are with the security guards. But on top of that, most of the schools that are without the security guard, they do not have them admin clerk, they do not have any general assistant, which means the principal of a school is a security guard, is doing administration, is doing everything. That is why then we said, principals of schools must be exempted from those other responsibilities by employing the security guards in each and every school. But those schools that are having 1,000 or 1,500 teachers, learners, then we'll have to have 2 or 3 security guards so that they can be able to control the situation, then leaving everything to one person who is also not armed, who do not have the telephone for the nearest police station. So that is why then we are saying we need to beef up our security in our schools.
Thank you so much, Allen Thompson there from NATU joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.